All right, folks, we welcome you back. Apologize for the technical difficulties earlier. And before we get to the Malzberg panel, we want to tell you about, of course, the great new book by Newsmax contributor and political analyst Dick Morris. There it is. It's on your great big screen there. It's called Power Grab, Obama's Dangerous Plan for a One-Party Nation. I strongly urge you to get a copy of this. It's a #1 Amazon bestseller. So go to powergrab411.com. That's powergrab411.com. to get your copy right now. And on the panel joining us is the founder of Less Government, Seton Motley, co-host of Steele Ungar, and senior political contributor for Forbes.com, Rick Ungar. All right, let's start with this Ferguson Commission announced by Governor Jay Nixon, who, while he announced it in Missouri today, and I guess this is anticipation, Rick, of maybe no indictment. He said, if we want peace in our streets, we must work together to create a more just and equal society. Then he praised the protesters for carrying the torch of a decades-long fight for civil rights and, quote, creating a more just and equal society. Those didn't seem like the protesters I saw in Ferguson.
Well, actually, you know, for once, Steve, you and I actually came to the same conclusion. What you just said is interesting. I think it is in anticipation of no indictment, and that's exactly why we got the speech today. Look, you do have to be fair to the protesters. There were some that were obviously rioting, breaking the law, etc., but that was, as usual in these situations, a small minority, and they make everybody else look bad. Protest is a big part of our culture and our heritage and should always be welcome, but not violent protest.
Is he paving the way, Seton, by saying if we want peace in our streets, we must work together to create a more just and equal society? And then if there's no indictment, he's basically given paved the way for more violent protests.
I'd like to point out that there were more violent protests in Ferguson than there were in every single Tea Party rally combined. I don't understand why we so quickly discount violent protesters as, oh, a small minority. So what? You know, the Tea Party had virtually none in years and years of rallies all around the country. So there's that. But yeah, it looks like there's going to be no indictment, and I'm perfectly fine with that if the facts point to that conclusion. If there's no indictable offenses, he shouldn't be indicted.
See, that's a really strange way to approach this. I completely agree with you. There was far more violent protest in Missouri than there was at any Tea Party rally I can imagine or remember. But that's an odd way to approach it. In point of fact, it was a very small minority, so what's to be gained by being dishonest about that any more than I would be dishonest if I pretended that there were large numbers of violent acts at Tea Party rallies, which you're correct, there weren't. What a strange way to approach it.
Because when you're dividing by zero, as you are with the Tea Party, you don't
well,
do...
No, you're not dividing by zero. You don't want to say that. I agree with you. There was very few incidents, but there were violent incidents. There was what happened in Cincinnati. Where they beat the heck out of that guy who was disabled. I'm not indicting the Tea Party. Wait. I am not indicting the Tea Party. I'm simply saying what a bizarre way to do an analysis of this. What?
But start again, Seton.
You're referring to the guy in Kansas City?
I think I'm referring to the guy in Cincinnati, but if you say Kansas City, fine.
Yeah, and it was.
Well, there was one black. There was one.
By union members in SEIU.
Right. There was what. Right, that's exactly right. And then there was the black man in St. Louis, I believe, if I remember correctly, who was beaten. Yeah, maybe that's the same instance.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir.
And all of that's beside the point. I'm agreeing with your point that there was very little violence in Tea Party.
But I think the point is the Tea Party is constantly portrayed in the media and by the left as racist and violent.
Well, I'm the left, and I've never portrayed them that way whatsoever.
But I think he's making the broader point, Seton, is that here we're making excuses for a significant number of rioters and looters. I don't know how you could say it was small. That was a pretty significant bunch of looting and burning going on. And here you have one Tea Party incident, and they call them racists and bigots and everything.
It was the left attacking a conservative. At the one incident.
Right, that's what it was.
What a bizarre way of interpreting it. I'm not making excuses for anybody who broke the law in Ferguson, not one bit. They break the law, they should go to jail.
I'm saying the statement of Ferguson's authorities makes the excuse for the violent
I think
protesters.
this is a really strange way of approaching the question. I really do. I'm not quite sure what you imagine is gained from it, except to say, "Ooh, Tea Party's better than those people." Well, they're not better.
No,
they're
what I'm
different.
saying
They think
is-
No,
something
no, no, no,
different.
no, 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 no. They
One
are
of them
better.
was-
They're not
yeah,
looting. They're not
right.
burning. They're not rioting. They're not hitting cops. They're better.
So nobody in the Tea Party ever has
better.
done anything wrong. Come on, guys.
See,
No,
you are
no,
indicting the
no,
Tea
no,
I'm
Party.
not.
You said you
No,
weren't, and we
I'm
are.
not. I'm
You
saying-
absolutely
no,
are.
I am not, and
All right,
you
folks,
know better.
We're out of time. We'll be back with the panel after Alveda King. Don't go away.